3 bicep exercises that'll blow up your arms. T-shirt can't handle this. If you want bigger, thicker, sleeve-busting biceps, you don't need to spend hours doing every curl variation under the sun. You just need to do the right ones, with the right intention. This video is your shortcut to mass. The 3 most effective bicep exercises that hit the muscle hard, build volume fast, and create real size you can see and feel. So, how do biceps grow? It's all about progressive overload, muscle tension, and targeted isolation. The bicep is made up of 2 heads, the long head and the short head. To maximize growth, you need to train both through different angles, ranges of motion, and varying tension. But most importantly, you need to train with purpose, feeling every rep, using strict form, and choosing exercises that create maximum contraction and stretch. Your biceps grow when you apply enough tension to break down the muscle fibers, and then allow them to rebuild stronger during recovery. That's why form matters more than weight. Swinging dumbbells or half-repping only cheats your progress. The 3 exercises in this video are chosen not for how flashy they are, but because they produce real results, fast. We'll hit the peak, the thickness, and the stretch, and we'll do it without wasting time on filler movements. Whether you're training at home or in the gym, these exercises can be done with dumbbells, a barbell, or resistance bands. Stick to these, push hard, and stay consistent. Your arms will start stretching your sleeves before you know it. T-shirt tightness is no longer a goal. It's a warning. Mistake 1. Using momentum instead of tension. One of the biggest reasons your biceps aren't growing is that you're letting your body do the work, not your biceps. If you're swinging the weight, leaning back, or jerking your elbows forward during curls, you're stealing tension away from the muscle. Remember, muscle grows under tension. When you swing the weight, you're reducing the time your biceps are actually under load and shifting that stress to your shoulders, lower back, or even hips. A proper bicep curl should feel like your forearms are moving in isolation. Your upper arm should stay pinned to your side, and your elbows should remain still. The goal is to keep tension on the bicep throughout the entire range of motion, especially during the lowering, eccentric phase, which is where most growth happens. Lifting lighter but with strict control will produce more muscle growth than swinging heavier weights poorly. Form over ego, always. Correct this mistake by slowing down your reps, locking your elbows in place, and focusing on contracting the bicep like a rope being pulled tight. Clean, controlled, and isolated. Mistake 2. Ignoring the full range of motion. The second most common mistake is cutting the range of motion short, especially at the bottom and top of each rep. Many lifters never fully extend their arms or contract their biceps all the way, robbing themselves of 2 key growth opportunities, the deep stretch at the bottom and the full squeeze at the top. When you don't let your arms fully straighten at the bottom, you're missing the stretch that places serious tension on the long head of the bicep, the head responsible for that big peak. Likewise, if you rush through the top of the curl without pausing and squeezing, you're failing to recruit full muscle fiber activation. That's wasted potential. To grow your biceps, you need to maximize every inch of the movement. Lower the weight slowly until your arms are nearly straight without locking out, and then curl it up, pausing to squeeze hard at the top. Feel the muscle, not just the movement. Fixing this mistake will unlock greater hypertrophy and help you get that fuller, rounder, and more defined bicep that looks like it's trying to tear through your shirt. Exercise 1 is the incline dumbbell curl. The incline dumbbell curl is one of the most effective and underrated exercises for building big, round, and strong biceps. What sets it apart is the angle it creates between your upper arms and torso. When you lean back on an inclined bench, set at around 45 to 60 degrees, your arms naturally fall behind your body. This unique position places your biceps, particularly the long head, in a stretched position throughout the entire range of motion. That stretch is not just a feeling, it's a scientific advantage for muscle growth. When muscles are lengthened under load, they are placed under greater mechanical tension. This tension stimulates more muscle fiber recruitment, especially during the lowering phase of the movement. According to studies in the Journal of Sports Science and Medicine, exercises that emphasize this stretch under load generate more muscle damage in a good way. That muscle damage leads to greater hypertrophy when followed by proper recovery. Compared to standard standing curls, the incline variation shows significantly more activation in the long head of the biceps, which is responsible for building the peak that makes your arms look taller and more defined. Incline curls also remove the ability to cheat. Because your back is supported and your elbows are positioned behind the torso, you can't swing the weights or use momentum. This forces your biceps to do all the work. The lack of shoulder involvement means the isolation is much cleaner, and you'll feel a deeper contraction with every rep. It trains the bicep in the full range, from maximum stretch at the bottom to a hard contraction at the top, which is ideal for full development of the muscle. Time under tension also plays a big role here. Since the biceps are stretched and constantly under load, the time your muscles are engaged increases naturally. This is crucial because one of the biggest drivers of muscle growth is how long the muscle remains under continuous stress. A slow, controlled incline curl does exactly that. It maximizes effort through the entire lift and eliminates resting points. As a result, the biceps are forced to adapt by getting stronger, denser, and ultimately bigger. The incline dumbbell curl is especially useful if your arms have hit a plateau. Many lifters overuse the same curl patterns and stop progressing, but this exercise challenges the muscle from a new angle, which creates a fresh stimulus for growth. The deep stretch also helps develop the long head in a way that standard curls simply don't. As that long head grows, your biceps take on a fuller shape, adding visual size even when your arm is relaxed by your side. That fullness translates to more roundness, more peak, and a more impressive look overall. If your goal is to build arms that stretch your sleeves or turn heads when you flex, the incline dumbbell curl is essential. It taps into muscle fibers that are often neglected and does so through pure, isolated tension. While it may seem like a small tweak in positioning, the growth it delivers is anything but minor. When performed consistently with good form and focus, it can completely change the way your arms look and feel, turning a basic curl into a mass-building powerhouse. Exercise 2 is the concentration curl. The concentration curl is one of the most focused and isolating bicep exercises, specifically designed to develop the size, shape, and peak of the biceps. Unlike compound or standing curl variations, the concentration curl eliminates almost all assistance from other muscle groups and requires your biceps to work alone, rep by rep. That laser-like isolation is what makes this exercise a staple in arm-building routines, especially for those chasing that iconic bicep peak. Performed seated, with your elbow resting against the inside of your thigh, the concentration curl locks your upper arm in place and limits momentum. You can't swing the weight, you can't use your shoulders, and your body can't cheat the movement. This strict positioning ensures the biceps are under continuous tension, particularly the short head of the muscle. The short head gives your biceps width and contributes to that full, thick appearance from the front. While the incline curl targets the long head and stretch, the concentration curl fills out the overall size, especially when viewed straight on. One of the reasons this exercise is so effective is because of the mind-muscle connection it naturally encourages. Because you're focusing on one arm at a time, it becomes easier to feel the muscle contract and control the movement. Research has shown that a stronger mind-muscle connection can lead to better muscle fiber recruitment, especially in isolation movements like this. A study from the American Council on Exercise, ACE, found that the concentration curl ranked as one of the top bicep exercises for maximum muscle activation, outperforming many standing and barbell variations. The constant tension throughout the lift, paired with a full range of motion, from full extension to a peak contraction, helps build both muscle endurance and density. When you perform a concentration curl slowly and deliberately, you also lengthen the time under tension, a key factor for muscle growth. Every second the dumbbell is moving under control, your biceps are working. Holding the contraction briefly at the top can create even more muscular stress, which leads to better hypertrophy over time. There's also a postural benefit. Since you're seated and supported, the concentration curl puts less strain on the lower back or joints, making it a safer option for lifters with injuries or limitations. But that doesn't make it easier. The strict control it demands makes each rep more intense and effective. It's an ideal finishing move in a bicep routine, helping to fully fatigue the muscle and create that deep burn that drives growth. While some exercises require heavy weights or complex setups, the concentration curl proves that simplicity and precision are often more powerful. All it takes is a dumbbell, a bench, and pure focus. Over time, this controlled tension leads to increased fiber recruitment, stronger biceps, and a more sculpted arm that visually pops. Incorporating concentration curls into your routine will help balance your bicep development, especially if you've been doing too many swinging curls or barbell movements. This is where refinement happens. The detail work that takes your arms from strong to jacked. The shape, the separation, the peak. All of it improves when you put in slow, focused reps with full intention. If your goal is biceps that not only grow in size, but also take on that classic, rounded shape that stands out flexed or relaxed, then the concentration curl isn't optional. It's essential. One arm at a time, one strict rep at a time. With enough consistency and control, it builds arms that demand attention. Exercise number 3 is the hammer curl. The hammer curl is the third bicep exercise in this mass-building lineup, and it brings something powerful to the table that most curls don't: thickness, forearm development, and real-world strength. What makes the hammer curl unique is the neutral grip, palms facing each other, which shifts the load differently than a standard curl. That subtle hand position recruits not just the biceps brachii, but also the brachialis and brachioradialis, two muscles often neglected in traditional bicep routines. Let's break down why this matters. The brachialis sits underneath your biceps. When it grows, it pushes the biceps up, creating a more dramatic peak and adding width to your upper arm from the side view. Meanwhile, the brachioradialis, which runs along your forearm, adds visible thickness and density to the lower arm, making your entire arm look fuller and more powerful. Hammer curls are one of the few exercises that target all three of these key arm muscles in one smooth motion. Because the hammer curl uses a mechanically strong grip, most people can lift slightly heavier than they can with traditional curls. That's a big win when you're trying to apply progressive overload, one of the most important principles for building size. Heavier loads, when controlled, result in more tension on the muscle and more stimulus for growth. Plus, the neutral grip is more joint-friendly, placing less stress on the wrist and elbow, which makes it a safer option for long-term training. Hammer curls also offer a functional strength benefit. The neutral grip mimics the way we carry and pull objects in everyday life, whether it's groceries, tools, or a heavy suitcase. Developing strength in this pattern carries over to everything from pull-ups to rows and even farmer's walks. So while you're training for size, you're also training for performance. Execution is key. To get the most out of your hammer curls, keep your elbows tucked close to your sides and avoid swinging. Use a full range of motion, lowering the weights until your arms are nearly straight, then curling back up with control. At the top of each rep, pause and contract your arms. That squeeze helps maximize muscle fiber recruitment. Use dumbbells, or if you want added tension, try them with cables or a rope attachment for constant resistance throughout the movement. In terms of hypertrophy, studies and EMG analysis suggest that combined activation of the brachialis and biceps through exercises like hammer curls can lead to more balanced overall arm growth. While incline curls target the peak and concentration curls refine the shape, hammer curls deliver arm thickness that fills out your sleeves, even when your arms are relaxed. So, if you're chasing that full 3D arm look, hammer curls are essential. They hit muscles that not only contribute to aesthetics, but also raw pulling power. And in a world full of curl variations, the hammer curl stands out for its ability to build mass, strength, and symmetry all at once.